Alright, welcome to another video. This one will be about evading defenders, so let's get right into it. So I just need to say one thing: I'm not a proper coach, I'm not qualified with any coaching badges, so they always say only use these videos as a reference, always talk to the actual rugby coach about anything you want to try, everything you want to do, and always just be safe. I'm only a reference, remember, so yeah. Now let's get into it. So always try use footwork before going into contact. Even if you think it won't make a difference, I guarantee you it will always make a slight difference. And sometimes it can make a big difference. So doing a little bit of footwork before contact. There's a saying in rugby, so go for the branches, not the trunks. So say I'm a defender, then this is the trunk and these are the branches. So by going for the branches, you're eliminating the risk of the defender getting a good shoulder hit on you, driving you backwards. So that little bit of footwork can make a big difference. So now onto some ways you can beat defenders and gain meters. So the first way is to use a dummy. So a dummy is basically just a fake pass. So you pretend you're going to pass, but then you don't, and you keep the ball, and then you accelerate, keep going forwards. So the main way to do it is quite simple. You just pretend to do a pass. I'd say the more try go a bit on the big side. So the more outrageous, the better. Because if you're just going to do a small streamlined pass, the defense won't be able to see it, and they won't think you're doing a dummy. So if you do a big wind up and you make it a really outrageous pass, then the defence will think you're going to do a big pass, and they'll all start drifting towards that way a bit. So if you make it good enough, then the defender will stop marking you basically and create a small gap. So you can do that, and then immediately go from your off your outside foot and just sprint forward straight through the gap. So you can make quite a few meters off that. So say you're in a 2v1 situation and you throw a dummy, but the defender stays lining up to tackle you, then obviously you should go ahead with the pass and not do the dummy. Because if you do the dummy, then most likely you're just going to get smashed and get tackled quite a few yards backwards. So it's not set in stone. If you decide to do a dummy before the play, you don't have to do it. You should read the situation, and if the situation is saying throw a dummy, then of course throw a dummy. But if it's saying do a skip pass because your wing is free on the wing, or if it's saying just pass it to your teammate next to you, then do that. You don't have to. It's not set in stone what you do. So something else you can do is it's basically the same thing as a dummy. It's a show and go. So basically, you show the ball and then you go. So this works well when you're running fairly fast already, and you've got a 2v1 situation or a 2v2 situation, and you're running outside the defender. Then you can show the ball, the defender will drift across, and then you can go through the gap. So that's another useful skill to use. So another way you can beat defenders is to sidestep them. And so the basics of doing a sidestep is, usually you choose your direction you want to sidestep. You don't have to, but this helps in eliminating any other uncertainties you have. And what many people do, they shorten their stride, because if you have a very long stride and you want to sidestep, you could be mid-air and then you won't be able to, and then you'll get tackled. So you can shorten your stride, and then you step wide, put your weight on that leg, so it looks like you're going to go that way, and then once your defender commits, then you push off and accelerate. If your defender doesn't commit, then obviously just keep going that way, because otherwise you're going straight into contact and then you get smashed and hit backwards. So one little side step I do quite a lot. Don't know the exact name, but here's how it goes. So to do this, you say your defender's here, you run at a slight angle, you push off of your outside leg, do a small hop, not too big, otherwise you might get smashed and you won't be able to change direction. So a small hop, and then when you land on the other foot, then you push outside, so it looks like you're going to go this way, and it looks like you're just getting some speed. And then when you land on your next foot, you plant it and turn the other way and accelerate off. And most times, your defender will think you're going this way, and then you go this way. So it's got like a sort of a double change of direction, kind of. It's very effective, and it may take a while to get used to, but once you've got it down, it's very, very useful. I'd say try practice it on both legs, because if you have it one way, you might think you have it both ways, but you might not. So just try practice it both ways. And the more you practice it, of course, the more fluid it will get, and the more effective it will be. So practice makes perfect, as with everything. So in conclusion, always try use footwork before contact. Even if you don't think it will make a difference, it probably will. Make sure you're not always got your ideas set in stone. So if you're going to do a dummy, then you don't have to do a dummy. You can do a skip pass or something. If what you have to read what the situation says. You don't have to. You can improvise as well. Practice makes perfect, and yeah. I hope you learned something from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.